My next guest takes on Jennifer Maia coming up here at UFC Nashville on March 23rd. It is Alexis Davis joining me here on the program. Alexis, how are you?
I'm feeling good.
Awesome. I like the positivity. Now, today is Friday. It's the end of the day. What'd you get up to today? What does a typical Friday look like?
Usually starts whenever my son gets up.
Yes.
Yeah, just, kind of mornings we chill, go for my run, do the whole drop off daycare, then it's off to work. What today? Conditioning, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, and then pad work today. Just a light day today.
Light day. Okay, gotcha. And when is the actual rest day? Is that on Sunday or Saturday, or do you get a rest day? How do you navigate through
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Like I train Saturday morning, Saturday like up until like 2, 3 o'clock, and then I kind of chill. And Sunday's kind of my rest day. I usually do like an active rest. I still like to run, or I'll do just like kind of a light workout. But yeah, I like to still keep somewhat moving.
That makes sense. Well, it's good to see you back in the cage here. The last time we saw you, I was actually at your last fight. It was in Calgary in July at UFC on Fox. I believe it was 30. That's a bit of a gap in between fights. What's sort of the reason for the layoff?
Hey, it was not my choice.
Okay, so you wanted to get in there, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to be on the Toronto card.
Yeah,
Like I haven't fought East Coast really.
right.
So just I don't know timing, and they were still trying to figure out. Well, they probably still are, and how they're going to situate everyone in the division. Still fairly new. Uh, I that I was hoping to fight kind of earlier, so I was actually. I don't know how I did it, but I was really good during Christmas, just trying to keep ready, stay ready. But you know what? Fighting, so a fight's a fight. I'm just excited to be kind of back in there.
Yeah, no, it's good to see you back. Just quickly, though, on that fight, Caitlin Chukagian, a very close matchup. What did you learn from that fight that you can bring into this matchup?
You know what? Like I may have lost, but I felt more like myself than I have in a long time. We had so many like mental hurdles, like I think that you have to overcome. Uh, and I don't think a lot of people realize, but that's what, you know what? I was just having fun out there. I know I should have like, implemented a little bit more takedowns. She's a little different fighter style of fighter that I'm used to dealing with. Someone who kind of likes to stay more so on the outside and move a bit more. I'm the fighter that likes to come in and brawl. So, different styles. I should have played more of my game, but I was just kind of having fun.
Okay, fair enough. That's a good assessment. Let's talk about Jennifer Maia, 15-5-1 record. How do you feel like you match up against her here?
I think it's a great fight. Yeah. There's a fighter who's going to come forward and bang with me. So,
Yeah, no, that's sort of what I thought too. Like in terms of the style and the clash and everything. Do you see this as sort of a fight of the night?
yeah, well, man, as long as I got a good opponent, I consider most of my fights to be pretty entertaining. Someone who's going to come up there and just kind of fight the fight, who's going to give it all they got. So, I'm willing to throw down. She's willing to throw down.
Who have been some of your main training partners for this camp?
I've had a lot of training partners that come out of CSA, like Zoila Frost. She's fighting tonight.
And Kabate, I talked to
Yeah,
her actually. Yeah,
yeah,
pretty big comeback for her. I'm excited for that.
yeah. She's been a large help for this fight camp. Amber Librock. She just fought to
Invicta, yeah.
Bellator, yeah. But just
Or sorry,
just
Bellator, yeah. That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Just having that kind of that female style, it's kind of come a long way to kind of help change up, because I like sparring with the guys, but it's different, different bodies, different, just even different movements. Obviously everybody's slightly bit different, but I think we have to, as females, kind of throw a little bit more, be a little trickier with some of the ways we have to move and kind of add our combos in.
What's it been like training at CSA over the last, say, year and a bit? Because it seems like everyone I talk to in California at some point has stepped in that gym. It seems to be sort of a hotbed right now. How has that been just getting, I'm sure you get a lot of different looks just with the amount of bodies that come through there.
Yeah, it's great. Like we have a guy from Russia that's in, and another female Canadian. Like I don't know, all over the world. It's incredible to meet so many different people from so many different parts of the world. That we had Jessie Jess. She's jumping in now with us, and different. It's everybody can add a little bit of something to your game.
Right. Yeah. Which is always good for every type of situation, which is very beneficial. How about the weight cut? How's that going ahead of this matchup?
Great. Didn't you see my post? I'm ripping those abs already.
I was going to say, I wanted you to tell everyone though, because, we got to hear it from the source. It's one thing to see the pictures, but it seems like everything's going well though.
No, yeah. You know what? Like I said, I was just trying to stay ready. You know, I've been trying to wait for a fight for a few months now. So I've just been, been super healthy, being super clean. I think this is going to be an easy cut for me. I cut a little bit more my last fight with Caitlin, but like with Liz, I barely had to cut at all. So, obviously this is lower weight class for me. It's still not a hard cut for me. I just got to eat a little bit more junk for doing bantamweight. So as long as I can keep myself kind of even keeled and not go too crazy after the fight, I think it's a really good fit for me.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
I just got the email right now. What's your corners? So I know I'm going to have Darren. He's going to be out again. I'm actually not even sure with
TBA right now, right?
Yeah. Because we got Pan Ams and stuff that are coming up for jiu-jitsu, and we got there's a lot of fighters at CSA fighting back to back to back. It kind of seems like that's the grouping that it's like all of a sudden, like for 2 months everybody's fighting, and then I will have like a few months break, and then everybody's fighting again.
Yeah, no, it can be tricky. Well, yeah, especially for Darren. I'm sure he's out every weekend at some point, I would imagine.
Oh my God, yeah. I don't know how like Corman do like with Kyrian.
Fitzgibbons, yeah.
Yeah, Fitzgibbons from CSA. Like what was it, last weekend? He was in Connecticut with Amber, and then he flew to LA with Eddie, and then back in the UFC for the Phoenix card on Sunday. I'm like, it was like, I think that guy needs a good long nap.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I don't know how Kyrian does it.
How do you see this fight playing out on March 23rd?
Oh man, I hate that question.
Well, I mean, you figure it's going to be like a fight of the night, so I imagine it's going to stay standing. Just sort of go forward. I mean, you're excited about this matchup when you get the opponent, when you know her style. Yeah.
I never like to say how it's going to go because it's going to go how it's going to go. It's just I'm going to look for those openings, and I'm going to take. Hey, if I get a shot, I get a shot, and go to the ground. I'm just going to go out there, go have fun. That's my best fights is when I just enjoy myself.
The flyweight division's wide open at the moment right now. I know you're coming off a loss, but if you get an impressive win here, how close do you think you are to getting that title shot just because you are a former title challenger? And like I said, I mean, it's really anyone's game at this point in terms of getting, to the top of the division.
Yeah, you know what? I really feel like it is so new, and who kind of knows? I'm just going to kind of take it, kind of focus on this fight and, not just getting a big win to see who's, for my next shot at the title, man. I just want that for myself. I want to go in there and I want to put on, an impressive performance so people realize that, hey, maybe this should be like stepping up our game a little bit more. So, like I said, I'm just going to go have fun.
I mentioned you fought for the title previously, and that was against Ronda Rousey, and Ronda is now in WWE. Do you pay attention to any of that at all, just as someone who fought her and just keeping an eye on what she's doing?
You know what I did for a little bit? Obviously, I think all fighters, especially women's fighters, we need to be supportive of each other, in different avenues that they may take, whether, like we see with acting or with the WWE, which is probably very similar. But, I did a little bit in the beginning, like unless it kind of comes off on my news feed, then I haven't really paid as much attention to it, but good for her. Like, man, she's got to be, raking in the coin for that and doing good for herself.
Will we ever see Alexis Davis make that transition to pro wrestling, or is that just you leave that to the other women?
Yeah, I don't quite think it's the right fit for me. But okay. You never know. Hey, you know what they give me the right paycheck. You never know. I don't think I quite have the same attitude as some of these other female fighters, but
okay, that's interesting. Did you ever watch it growing up?
Yeah, I watched a little bit when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I just think it was to watch some of the boys that were on there, but
right. Okay, that makes sense. We talked about obviously your career and everything. Big news in Canada, especially this past week. George St. Pierre retired. Just your reaction to that? Were you surprised to see him make that decision? Was this something you were expecting? What was your reaction when you heard he was retiring?
And that wasn't quite a surprise. He's been kind of on that avenue for a while. And you know what? You just do what's best for you. He, he's been to the top of the division, and he is, a legend for the sport. So, it's, good for him. I'm happy for him. But then again, like we had like Randy Couture, who was retired for how many times? So you never know what can happen. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. MMA retirements you always got to put that asterisk next to it because you never
It's
know.
it's like
It's
it
gonna
was like
stay.
musicians as well. Like
Yes, that's
yeah.
true. Very, very good example.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Do you have like a favorite fight of George's that you remember, like something that where you're just like, man, that's like a big memory for you as far as a fight that he had. Is there anyone that sticks out?
And you know what though? Just his fight career in general, to see the progressions that he kind of made. And he was that fighter who, you kind of watch some of these fighters and they didn't really change up their games as much, but you'd hear him doing like, hey, for this fight cam, I'm gonna like throw in some gymnastics that I'm gonna like start implementing to. I always kind of admired his not just his dedication and his work ethic, but just his to see the overall picture. So, what, just his mental soundness in the game, he's always going to be a fighter that I'm going to look up to.
Did you ever meet him or ever train with him before?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I met him the first time fighting like TKO. I don't know if you remember way
Of
back
course, I
then.
remember TKO. We're talking old school
Yeah,
back in the day. Yeah.
yeah. I remember when I fought Valerie Paterno.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
Yes, yes. Okay.
yeah. He was there. I was like, oh my god, there's George St. Pierre.
Yeah. Okay. That's a very cool memory. Last question before I let you go. We've been talking a lot of Canada in this show. Do you ever get back to Canada at all other than fighting? Like, do you go back and see family at all? Because obviously you live in California now and you're kind of a transplant at this point.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm enjoying the weather a little bit more here
Yes. No, absolutely. Yeah.
when I talk to my parents as of late. But yeah, no, no, no. A couple times a year. Usually, I after a fight, stay back here. I'm usually here for like around a month or so I can kind of keep on somewhat of a regimen because I can't. I've learned the hard way, especially fighting at flyweight, that I can't fight and then go crazy on my diet
Of
or
course. Yeah.
I have to kind of keep myself sound in there. But yeah, probably about a month after my fight or so that I'll go back there and take my son and do Easter there. So
Good stuff. Like to see you having the Canadian roots. And this is going to be a great fight. It's coming up here March 23rd. It is UFC Nashville. Alexis, it was great getting a chance to talk to you. Just remind people where they can find you on social media. And if you have any sponsors or shout outs or anything like that, the floor is yours.
yeah, check me out, Alexis Davis MMA, my Instagram. I got all. I got Facebook. If you can't get a friend request in, I got a fan page. Big shout out to NutriShop, to Lana's Egg Whites, to a Defense Soap, very important sponsor.
Yes.
And then, you know what? Just out of the cave, there's so many people that have come back me up. Should have made a list, but I did not. So if I forget anybody, I'm sorry.
But you posted on your social media, so I'm sure they'll see it on there.
I
That's
did.
why we promote it off the top, right?
Yeah, yeah. Probably people are a little bit more prepared, but I'm just winging it.